In this video, I'm going to show you how much I made off of YouTube in 2018. Now, I'm not going to be showcasing this just to kind of show off, but I want to use this as a way to kind of show people how much you can actually be making off of YouTube as a side job. Now, if you're interested in just the numbers, don't worry, I have that coming up here very shortly, but I'll stick around because I'm also going to be showcasing month by month how I actually grew on YouTube. So that can actually help you kind of get an idea of what it's like and what you can potentially expect from YouTube. Now, the other really cool thing about this is if you want to stick around to the end, I'm also going to be talking just a little bit more about some tips and tools when it comes to getting started here on YouTube if you want to make this a side job, whether it's to pay off extra debt, save some extra money, or even invest for your future. So stick around. Hello, fellow wealth builders, and welcome back to the TruFinancials channel. As I just mentioned, we're going to be showcasing what we made on YouTube here in 2018. But really quick, if this is your first video with us, my name is Dennis, and on this show, we love to talk about personal finance to really help you build your wealth and be more financially free. I want to take you on this journey of financial independence, so make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and the bell to get notifications when new videos come up. So we're actually going to hop over here on the computer so I can actually show you on the actual YouTube analytics how much I made in 2018. Let's go ahead and check it out. All right, so here we are on the screen. Now, as you can see directly on the screen, first and foremost, as I mentioned, we're gonna show this really early, but we're gonna break it down here just a little bit more, so make sure you stick around. But the total that we actually earned from YouTube in 2018 was $1,888.10. Now, this is just the ad revenue. I'm actually gonna break down a couple other ways that I make money here off of YouTube, and I'm gonna showcase that all together and kind of give you that total as well. So you can actually kind of get a better understanding because this was just how much I made from YouTube ads. So make sure you keep that in mind because there is a little bit of a difference on my total versus how much I made just from the ad revenue. Now, I know sometimes people on their videos when they made these, because I've of course did some research on them, is I'll hit the refresh button so you can see it being refreshed here in real time so you know that this is not fake and this is actually what I had for the channel. So you're going to see here once this freaking takes forever to load, but you're going to see right here, you'll see last year, January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. And that's of course TruFinancials. Started this all the way back on May 21st of 2017. Have about 218 videos. Now that's of course including some of the ones that came out in early 2019. So do keep that in mind. Right over here, you're going to see again that total that we made for the year. That was with a total of 261,886 views. So that's how many views we got. And then the watch time was over almost 1.3 million watch time minutes, which was awesome. And then our average view duration. But again, of course, watching this video, the thing that we care about the most is how much we actually earn from YouTube. Now, as I mentioned earlier too, I'm going to break this down month by month so you can actually see the differences in the growth, because you can see the growth here on this chart right over here, but I'm going to break it down so you can actually get a much better idea. And if you're not too familiar with how YouTube ads work, as far as getting paid, you do have to hit a threshold of $100 in a total for your account to be able to get paid out. And what that means is, let's say the first month you make $45 and then the second month you make $50, that is a total of $95, and then you actually still have to wait an additional month until you get over that $100 threshold to be able to get paid out. And YouTube pays you out on the 21st of the following month of actually hitting that threshold. So if you don't hit that $100 threshold, you have to wait the following month or until you hit that $100 to be able to get paid out. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you here, before breaking down all the other forms of income that I make from YouTube, because there are a couple others, so make sure you stick around for that. But I'm going to go ahead and show you here what it was for the beginning of the year up until the end of the first month. So right over here, we're going to drop it down to just January 1st all the way to January 31st. So you're going to see here, I made a total of $63.39 for that one single month. Now, that was definitely much better than the month prior, which was in December of 2017. So that was a really decent month for growth when it came to the channel. And then we're going to go ahead and get started with going to February, and I'll show you guys here exactly how much I made in February. So February, I actually made $85.17. Now, being that it was actually a couple of days shorter than the month of January, that was awesome to be able to make that money. Now, because January I didn't make over the $100, and then February with the $67 and then the $85, I made over $100, and so I got paid out in the month of March. So again, some good growth here for the following month. One thing to also keep in mind is, as I mentioned earlier, I started in May of 2017. I didn't actually start making money off of the ad revenue until about September of 2017. And even then, that was starting off at a slower growth. So if we go on to March, we're going to show you here. So for the month of March, this was actually technically a little bit down from the month prior, which was in February. So we actually made $86.17. So not enough to actually get paid out for that month. And we actually look over here, you're going to see on a given day, it's like $3.31. Some of the highs over here were $5.73, all the way as low as $1.05 actually. So, you know, every single day you're earning a little bit of money. And the way I always kind of look at it too was, obviously to make the average of $100, you got to be kind of hitting about $3.33 a day, depending on the month, of course. But if you're able to hit that average, then you're able to get paid out that $100. And YouTube does a really good job of having it be like a growth where if you're being consistent with everything, you're going to actually see some really good growth over time. And that's kind of why I'm showing you month to month, because I think when you see it this way, you're going to be able to see how the growth happens over time. And sometimes it could be a little discouraging to miss a month where you don't make as much as you made from the month prior, like we did in March. But then we go ahead and jump over to April. We see here we made $84.73, so kind of consistent, nothing really too staggering when it comes to changes in the income, but again, still a good month for us overall. So now if we go ahead and jump over to May, I'm going to go ahead and showcase that. Now for May, we made $105.04. So regardless of how much we made in the months prior, if we were starting from zero in the month of May, at the end of June 21st, we would actually get paid out for May's income because we'd hit over that $100 threshold in one given month. So that was awesome, and that was great. That was actually the first month where I earned $100 in that given month. So if you take the averages of every single day, I had a high of $5.79. Actually, $6.04 was the highest for that month, and then we even had a couple lows of $1.28, but averaged out to over you know, that $3.33 that I was trying to go for. Now, when we go over here to June, June was a very interesting month because it goes up and down as far as your income and how much you can make. But if you look at this, in June, I made $100.18. So I made 18 cents more than the threshold was. So I actually still was able to get paid out for the work that I did in June. And then that was really funny because, yeah, making it just enough to be able to get paid out for it. If I missed it, if it was $99.99, I'd have to wait for the following month to obviously hit over $100 and then get paid, you know, 2 months after the work that I've done. So that was, you know, a little interesting to kind of hit that threshold just barely. But ever since then, I've always kind of made more than enough and never really had to worry too much when it came to being able to hit that threshold. So we go over to July here. And then July, you're going to see that's a massive jump up from the month prior. So we're at $160.79. So some really good growth in the month of July. Now, to kind of give you some context, I've been actually making 2 videos every single week for pretty much almost a year and a half for the most part. And then in the month of November 2018, I actually started uploading 3 videos a week. So you'll definitely see an increase in a couple of months here once we kind of go through these. But you know, as you stay consistent, as you continue to grow, one thing that I always tell people too is that it's almost like you're creating a small version of yourself that's going to go out and do the hard work for you. And that's what's really cool, is because it's going to consistently be out there doing all that work for you. So now I switched over here to August, and you're going to see here August was actually down from the month prior. So we actually only made $153.79. But again, it goes up and down in waves. So nothing to worry about, but we still definitely made over that threshold, which was really, really nice. And then we're going to go ahead and jump over to September here. And then for the month of September, we hit $156.49. So again, we're, you know, a couple of months in, we're kind of hitting the same thing again, which is good. And then as we move on to October, I'm going to see over here. So for the month of October, we actually ended up making $173.78. So this was at that point the highest month that we've actually earned from YouTube. So we had a high of $7.77 for the month, you know, and some of our lows right here, I think, was $3.69. So our highs were getting higher and our lows were also moving up as well. So you know, at this point, it was pretty much nothing that hit under $1 for the whole given month, which was really nice, especially as we are creating more videos and more content So this income is that side hustle that you're working really hard for and putting all this extra time into, and now it's starting to help generate more and more of itself, which is always a great thing, because that's what's so cool about YouTube, is that you can be doing a lot of hard work at the front end, and then over time it's going to start really benefiting you long term, and that's what I really like about it. And then you're going to see here for the month of November, you're going to see a really nice increase here. Again, partially through the month, I started jumping up to 3 videos a month. Plus, it was also the holiday season, and so I guess the ads tend to be a little bit more valuable. So you're going to see here almost $100 more in this month right here at $278.84. So that was a huge jump up for us. I'm going to see the high here is like $15.67 in one single day. So one day of work of all these videos going up and all these things going through and people watching, I made $15.67, and then at the lower points we were looking at like $4.99. It looks like, yeah, $4.99 was like the lowest end. So again, a new high for a single day, and then a new higher low, I guess you can say, for this for a single day. So as more videos keep coming out, as more content keeps being provided to people, and people find value out of those, the more it's going to earn on YouTube. And the great thing is, a lot of times, some of the videos that you make that were a lot older are the ones that are actually producing most of the work for you. So my top video actually was something that came out as of this recording 9 months ago, and it's actually making me the most, even though some of my newer videos are still pretty popular as well. It's just a matter of context based off of what people are looking for in that given time. And so when we go for the last month, which was December, over here. So for the last month of December, definitely a huge jump up as well. This was the first full month of doing 3 videos a week. And you can see here, it was at $435.74. So this actually gets paid out on the 21st of January. And you can see here, like a new high of $25.35. And I think the low here was $7.33. So, the average definitely came out much nicer for the month of December. And that again is with all the hard work that comes with it. So you can see, based off of going month to month, that it wasn't just an instant, from $40 or $60 a month all the way to $435. There was consistent growth. There was a couple months that were somewhat similar, and then you saw a nice jump, somewhat similar, and then you saw a nice jump. So as you kind of go through this process, if you're interested in starting a YouTube channel or doing anything when it comes to building up a business in that sense, just remember that it does take time for that growth to happen. It does take time for things to develop, and you can see here on that chart that we were kind of going month to month. You can see that breakdown, and how it's like slowly going up, and slow and steady kind of wins that race. That old saying. Same thing you can see with the views and the watch time over here. That's all going up at the same time. Oh, and real quick, I kind of had to go back and hit record on this. I wanted to showcase what I made for 2017 as well, because this will also give you some context as far as growth over the years. So if I actually go through and switch this out, let's do 17 to 17 right here. So this is exactly what I made in 2017. So you're gonna see here, I made a total of $151.55. So that's actually what my first paycheck was in the month of January, because even though I got started earning money in September, I didn't actually even get paid out until January. Yeah, that's correct. Started earning money in September and then got my first payout in January of 2018 at that point. So you can see here, this was how much I was doing in 2017. Started in May, as I mentioned, and then I'll go ahead and one more time show you guys 2018. So you can see that difference and that growth, and how big of a difference that can make if you are consistent and keep growing. So I can hope that this really encourages people and really gets you guys excited. As I mentioned, I do have a couple other ways that I make money from YouTube, because I also do have some like affiliates, and I do have some other things that I provide outside of the YouTube ads, but they actually still bring in money, but I would consider them sources that come from the YouTube channel. So I have them written down here. So first and foremost, I have, of course, the YouTube ads. So the YouTube ads was $1,888.10. And then next up, I have Capital One 360, which they have a refer a friend program where you can refer somebody to the account, which is really great because they make $25 and then the person who's referring them makes $20. Unfortunately, they have a cap of $1,000. So I actually had enough to hit that cap based off of my video that I made for it. And so I pulled that money out. slowly over time. And now people are still able to use that link, but unfortunately I don't get any more of that referral bonus. Next up would be Ibotta. So I actually earned $65 from Ibotta, which I refer people with my link. I make $5. They actually make $10 on their account as well. So that one is a really nice one because that helps people actually save some more money as well. And then next up is with the Cash App. So I actually made a video on the Cash App where people can actually download the app, use my referral link, or even somebody else's, and they get $5, and then that person who referred them also gets $5. So in total, I made $210 from that. I didn't actually cash that out from the app just yet, so I don't actually have it in like my budgets and all that other stuff. So I'm just leaving it in there until it kind of gets to a certain point and then pulling that money out. So I made $210 from that. And then I also have Amazon affiliate links. So if you're not familiar, affiliate links are where I refer people to certain products that I've used, whether it's for the YouTube channel, whether it's for the books that I read, anything in that regard. Not a ton, but I made about $29.40 from that. I actually even have it here. I can show you. This is a full breakdown of everything, but this one right here, it's like kind of like off center here. So you can see, so this one right here, the 1124 and then the 1816 were the two that got paid out for the year of 2018. Anything else that I've earned haven't gotten paid yet for it because I either didn't hit the threshold or I just haven't gotten paid yet for it. So those were the two things there together. So that was $29.40 as the total there. And then the last couple things that I had, I've actually had a sponsor for a video. So I made $250 off of that as well. And of course that was here on YouTube. And then the other one was actually coaching. So I do offer some coaching for people that are interested and kind of wanting to dive a little bit deeper in their budgets and want to kind of get a better handle on their finances. So I've actually had a client for 2 months from November and December for $133.34 for those 2 months. And then I actually have another customer, but I actually put that earnings at the beginning of January because it was like right at the cusp. So I put that in January. So with the YouTube ads and then all the extra little things aside from the actual ads itself, that actually came out to a total of $3,575.84. So I actually made almost a little bit about the same from the YouTube ads and then everything else aside from YouTube as well, which I've always heard is a really good thing to do because YouTube ads is one thing, but then actually getting to either sell your own products or refer products to people that you personally use is a whole nother thing as far as being able to earn more money. So as I mentioned, if you wanted to stick around, I'm going to have some things that I want to talk about when it comes to kind of getting started on YouTube if you're interested to do this as a side job. As I mentioned and I showed you guys, the growth is there and it's possible. You just have to be willing to put in the work for it because it will be worth it down the road, but it's definitely not a short-term side job or side hustle. Some of the things to consider if you're interested in doing YouTube is first and foremost making sure that you are dedicated to taking that time and putting effort into it because you want to be consistent with YouTube. YouTube is one of those things where they will reward you for being on here consistently every single time. So for me personally, as I mentioned, I was doing 2 videos a week for about 1.5 years, and now I jumped up to 3 videos every single week. And so that's something where I haven't missed a single upload because I'm very dedicated to providing value to people. And that's another tip as well, is making sure that you can provide some type of value, whether it's another financial channel, if you want to come on here and kind of showcase your journey to either paying off debt or investing or getting into rental properties or whatever the case may be, that can help people quite a bit, and also you can help yourself as well. But making sure that you can somehow provide value to people if you're interested in making money. And that's going into another tip is actually looking into YouTube as a business and not just a hobby if you're interested in making money. Because if you just want to do it as a hobby, that is one thing. But if you're interested in making money, that is a whole nother game. And you definitely want to look at it as a business and not just something that you're doing for fun if you actually want to make that money. And there's nothing wrong with making money off of YouTube or making money off of referring people to certain products, as long as you are doing it ethically and doing it in a way that you are helping other people. And that's the best way to continue to grow. So that is going to be the amount that I've made for 2018. Like I mentioned, it was $3,575.84. If you were making YouTube videos in 2018 and you were earning some income, let me know in the comments down below. I'm really curious to hear how much did you earn from YouTube ads, and then if you had other things like affiliate programs or courses or books or anything else, how much did you make from the YouTube ads, from everything else, and then the total as well. I'd definitely like to hear from you guys in the community if you're doing this as a side job, because of course I'm doing it right now as a side job. job with the intent of making this a full-time job in the future. And as you see, the growth there is one thing, and then it's going to continue to grow over time as long as I stay consistent. All right, so that was how much I made in 2018 off of YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. If you did, hit that like button down below, and I got 2 videos here for you if you'd like to continue learning.